Best international master of all time. Who was it? Well, it's this guy on your bottom right, Rashid Nezhmetdinov. This guy had a fascinating life story. He had a positive record against world champions, multiple of them at the time. And you might ask yourself, why was he not a Grandmaster? Well, to understand that, we're going to need to understand a little bit about his life story. Following that, we're going to look at a game between him and Mikhail Tal. Mikhail Tal arguably had the most similar playstyle to Nezhmetdinov, but somehow Nej always got the best of him in their games. Right? It's a battle of who's going to become crazy first. Mikhail Tal was never able to be the first one to become crazy. I mean, sometimes he was, but overall he wasn't. So, Nezhmetdinov, born in 1912 in modern-day Kazakhstan, former Russia. His parents were worked to death. That's a time when the government collectivized and said, hey, give us all your food. And farmers were forced to give them all their food, or not the greatest things would happen. That was back in turmoil. I always love historical figures because nowadays you get these chess prodigies, and then you get not even chess prodigies who complain about being forced to study chess and go to sponsored chess lessons. Yeah, back then they were just drafted from war to war, picked up by royalists and then communists, and you just tried to survive. So up until his early 30s, he never took chess seriously. He was a big checkers guy until some guy said, hey, this is chess, not checkers, and smoked him at it. And then he was like, no, I'm going to become one of the best at chess as I am in checkers. He never always gave up checkers. For example, after becoming an IM in chess, he'd still go back to checkers tournaments and go like 13 for 13. I think he scored second in all of Russia, which is insane. But he got sick, he got ill. He got filthy at chess during that time. But then, World War broke out. He had to fight. Luckily, he didn't die. And one of the greatest things is that he gave up checkers for chess. It sounds like a joke in modern times. And those people that say it's checkers, this is chess, not checkers. And they don't know how to play chess. They probably don't even know how to play checkers. This guy became the best at both. Let us get into it. Rashid Nezhmetdinov. Fun facts, many were probably left out. Feel free to add. This guy is a menace. He's playing Mikhail Tal in an open Sicilian. What's fascinating about Tal is he loved these cagey approaches. And then he's like, I'm going to always go crazy before my opponent. But yeah, that didn't happen against Nej. You know why? Because this guy played G4. This guy played the freak attack before it was the freak attack out of a Scheveningen Sicilian. I love the move G4. Now Tal, a principled player, the magician from Riga, played principled chess. Your opponent strikes on one end, you strike on the other. Nej was quite literally just too poor to leave the country and make a name for himself. And he's a great story for all, right? At 32, he picked up chess seriously. It's never too late. If you have the passion, the drive, the time is now. Don't worry about the past, right? These guys had to get drafted, go to wars here and there. Everybody has their own story. Mad they wasted a couple of years of their life. You're ruining the future by dwelling on the past. I'd claim it as my own saying, but there's too many variations of that saying for me to even say I created it. It's just a common thought. But, okay, pawn to b5. Now we're really going to hone in on the chess. Principled play. Now, something cool that could have happened here is the move pawn to g5. Doesn't look too crazy, but look at the positions that could ensue. Strike on one end, strike on the other. You could guess who are the two players in this blindfoldedly and just say Mikhail Tal and Nej. The point is, it gets crazy. Black can play knight to d5. White can play knight to d5. Very common in these Khan-like e6 Sicilians, where you're just putting your knight here and arguing that their king is very exposed in the open. Other things could have happened. You could also take this, at which point they take, at which point you take, at which point they can take or go rook g8. It's just, look at this position. To us, it doesn't make sense. To them, they'd be like, oh, just another day. A positional game, mind you. Also, by the way, we are going international, so don't mind the undersized shirts. Look at these cannons. I literally feel like my biceps are going to rip these shirts. Is that a common thing when you pack internationally and you're moving and you don't have any clothes left? You have to wear, and then the others are in the laundry, you have to wear these outdated shirts, which kind of make you feel like a tank. I kind of feel like I could just walk through a wall right now. So I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. It's kind of a fantastic feeling. Pawn to a3 was played. This is as positional as it's going to get. Bishop to b7, bishop to f3. Meet a bishop with a bishop. Knight to c5. Knight to c5, adding pressure onto e4. Rashid defends it with queen to e2, and it looks like a normal game. We get pawn to e5, he's like, knight, get out of here. It's so funny that in these Sicilian, I mean, not funny to a chess player, right? Not funny to a normal person, but funny to us, is that knight to d5 is like always a good move. Whether it could be taken, whether it's not taken, it's just always a fantastic move. But knight to f5 is also a beautiful move. The preferred move, rather, by sentient human beings, not by losers like stockfish. Pawn to g6, a fianchetto attempt, a tempo gainer. Fianchettos weaken the dark squares, so he jumps on to those dark squares after playing, of course, a switch, taking in the center, knight to h6. And this knight cannot be taken. I mean, it can, but it can't. You know what I'm trying to say? That would stop castling in both ways. It would stop castling for... So it just shouldn't be taken, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So we get the best move by Tal, knight to e6. I believe this game was played in 1961. It's so fascinating. This guy went back to checkers and won. And then he just became filthy. I mean, he was like a candidate master like early on, which is like respect. I mean, I became one at the age of 13, mind you. But then he just went on to become one of the GOATs. Can we get a Super IM title? Can chess.com put his picture? I had to Google his picture. This guy had a winning record against world champions. I mean, he did to Tal what Tal does to others. Can we get this man a picture? Sheesh. This is why it's crazy. The world will forget about you so soon. So just be a good person. Who cares what other people think? As long as you have a clear conscience and know why you're doing what you're doing, you do you. You go rook takes f6 in an accuracy that leads you to win the game. You do that metaphorically in other routes, aspects of life. We get bishop takes f6, a clearance. We get knight to d5. If it is taken, then you gain a tempo and you have a discovered attack on the rook on the queen side. We get queen d8, queen f2, the best move, adding pressure onto the bishop on f6. Tal's like, what is going on? This is not going too fantastic. We get knight to f4. He snags it, opening up development for his rook. And then goes pawn e5. You thought he was going to take? No, he's not going to take. He's going to blow open the center of the board because black cannot castle. Have you ever seen a knight on h6 stopping a king from castling? Maybe. Maybe not. There's only 64 squares at the end of the day. But there are a lot of chess positions. It's hard to repeat, right? You never get the same game twice. Unless it's a theoretical draw, like top-level GMs do nowadays. Not this guy. This guy sacks the whole house, goes rook to e1, pinning the bishop to the king. Pawn to f6. Finally, Tal crumbled under the pressure. He had to go bishop takes d5, where we would get rook takes, but you're not going to, he's not going to allow something like this to happen. It just looks like he's getting checkmated, losing material at the very least. So he goes pawn f6. But remember that bishop is pinned. So knight takes f6. Boom. Boom. The queen has to take. That was an anticlimactic boom, but we're going to keep it. Now, who would take this bishop? Well, maybe you would get a draw then. Maybe you would get a draw then, but not this guy. Queen to d4, exploiting the pin. These people don't care about material, right? Usually it's Tal that's at a 5-point deficit. Here, he's at a 5-point advantage, but he's losing the game. Literally vice versa. Inverted. This guy was Tal before Tal. Tal to Tal. Bada bing, bada boom, take. I'm pumped up because I'm packing. We're going international. It's big stuff. This is my type of game, my type of play style. Just the Walmart version of rook to f5. Boom, check. Winning a rook. And then he just goes on a nice king march. Of course, he's not going to get checkmated, so he resigns. And Tal just got annihilated by an IM. As did world champions back then. I think this guy deserves his own title. The Super International Master. Thank you as always for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.